Do you play fantasy sports or know someone that does? Are you always looking at your phone, looking at who's scored from your team or know someone that does? Well, we have the product for you. Introducing the FantasyFlare. Whenever a player on someone's fantasy team scores a point, a goal, a touchdown, and so forth, the FantasyFlare lights up in a different color or manner. How does it do this? By leveraging open sourced ideas and hardware to create a business case that we will demonstrate is worthy of your dollars. We've thought about all the various risks associated with our idea and demonstrated mitigation strategies to deal with all of those risks. We look forward to convincing you of the merits of the FantasyFlare.
So why did we decide on an open source hardware? There are three main reasons. First, transparency and community collaboration. Going open source means users have access to the underlying code and hardware specifications, allowing them to understand how FantasyFlare works and potentially contribute to its development through feedback, suggestions, and even do-it-yourself modifications. Second is affordability. By removing the need to obtain IPs, FantasyFlare can keep production costs low, resulting in a more accessible product. And third is innovation and future-proofing. Users can leverage the open hardware platform to experiment with new features, integrate with emerging technologies, and stay ahead of the curve in the rapidly evolving landscape of smart home technology.
With 62.5 million fantasy sports enthusiasts in the USA and Canada, and the smart home market accelerating at a CAGR of 27%, FantasyFlare is positioned at the intersection of these booming industries. Our path to market begins with a proof of concept. Leverage insights from our beta testing with real fantasy sports fans to refine our product. Following this, we will launch our MVP, partnering with top fantasy platforms to gain immediate traction. FantasyFlare is not just a product, it's a movement. As we expand, integrating with various platforms and systems, FantasyFlare will become a must-have for anyone interested in smart technology.
As we delve into the marketing strategy for FantasyFlare, understanding our customer segments is key. These include socialites, enthusiasts, casual players, and spectators. Now let's explore some personas within these segments. First, meet John. He's the ultimate sports party host. With FantasyFlare, John can elevate his parties. Next, there is Mark, a die-hard sports fan and fantasy league enthusiast. With FantasyFlare, Mark can track key game events and gain a competitive edge in his league. Then there's Shelly, on the hunt for the perfect gift for her sports-loving boyfriend. FantasyFlare offers a unique and thoughtful gift idea to impress him. And finally, we have Elizabeth, who is passionate about reducing her screen time. With FantasyFlare, Elizabeth can stay updated on game highlights without constantly checking her phone. By understanding and targeting these different personas, we can effectively tailor our marketing efforts to meet the needs and preferences of our target audience.
FantasyFlare will be priced in three categories to accommodate our diverse consumer base: basic, mid-range, and premium. All tiers include the essential features, and as the price increases, new notification types and degrees of customization with 3D printing will be added. To reach customers, we would use the FantasyFlare website and other retail sites such as Amazon, as well as collaborations with fantasy sports platforms, especially for individuals looking for ways to improve their gaming experience. For promotions, the marketing budget will be allocated across social media marketing, influencer marketing, and partnerships with local bars and sports venues.
The initial phase of the company's life cycle is focused on research and development and the creation of an app that allows users to connect to the FantasyFlare itself and instill a degree of customization to the user experience. The company expects to be cash flow positive in its first year and will use this cash to reinvest into the capabilities of the business to allow it to scale. There'll be an iterative quality assurance process to ensure that any bugs that are encountered are worked through, and the company has the opportunity to explore different avenues for its business, including expansion to serve as a notification service for any number of smartphone-enabled apps, as well as expansion into the B2B space.